So if you have not watched our unboxing yet, feel free to check that out. We're gonna have a link in the video that has some information that we maybe not have mentioned in this, and it'll be valuable to, you know, just kind of the steps as to why we got this.
We mentioned it before, here it is. This is the review of the Drobo 5N2.
So here at Media, as our production department and the agency as a whole has been growing, we have needed more space for footage, and we needed some redundancy with a lot of our stuff, or a better redundancy system, I should say. And we already have worked with the original Drobo, you know, just plug in a Thunderbolt cable right into the computer. But it's super inconvenient, you know, as we discussed in our unboxing, that didn't work good for, you know, a business that has multiple computers. So we looked into several different options for hard drive arrays. What it all came down to was that we're familiar with Drobo. It was cheaper. We wanted to connect straight in to computers via, you know, Thunderbolt, Ethernet, whatever, instead of going through a router, which so many hard drive arrays are, you know, need. We just wanted to plug right in because 2 people, 2 cables. We want to keep it that simple. And then the best part with Drobo, obviously, is the Beyond RAID, which thankfully we haven't had to deal with, but apparently, you know, Drobo takes your certain amount of space and reserves it in case a hard drive dies to, you know, make everything redundant, and you don't have to do anything. It's their own kind of special RAID.
And with that, the capacity of this backup solution is 5 hard drives, which right now I think kind of maxed that out at 12 terabytes per hard drive. So that's 60 terabytes of storage. But with that Beyond RAID Tim's mentioning, it uses a portion of that, which the actual size ends up being 43.45 terabytes.
We've already had a Drobo and we already have the software installed. So literally as soon as we plugged this in, it was ready to go. I mean, we did an update. I don't think it was necessary for it to work, but it popped right up on my computer, it popped right up on your computer.
Even if you're just using the ports on the computer, it still pops up under the shared drive area. And the reason that we've gone into using that is because it's a lot faster, the transfer rate is a lot faster, but also when you're using the wireless feature plugged right into the router, that slows down all the internet traffic. Obviously, with a backup solution, people are typically transferring large amounts of files. They're probably not going to do it during the daytime. So for a lot of people, yeah, that's not a big deal. You do it at night. But just as a heads up, that's what we've noticed.
My mouse was literally like the whole computer had slowed down. It was the craziest thing. But kind of the benefit that we found to this was when you're plugged in, the 2 computers that you're plugged into fight over which computer the hard drive, which dashboard computer the hard drive shows up on. So the dashboard is just the software that Drobo has. And it literally doesn't make a difference whose computer it pops up on. It just doesn't matter. It just means that we both can't access it. But if you're connected to the router, it'll show up on any computer, so.
With that said, using the dashboard, they advertise that you can use applications that are installed onto the Drobo, and you can do things like access files via your phone anywhere, which is very interesting.
Amazing, yeah. If we're on a shoot and we forgot a script or we wanted to reference an old spot or anything, boom, there it is. So we were both really excited about that.
Yeah.
Until
we hardwired our Drobo into both our computers and noticed with, you know, the issue of it popping up only on one person's computer, it does not install any of the software. And the reason being is it doesn't go through the internet to your computer to the Drobo. It goes from the Drobo straight to the internet and then to your computer.
From their perspective, it just looks like it's expected that this is going to be plugged into the internet, or anyone using this is going to be plugged into the internet.
The apps really aren't that big of a point to me. Drobo access is very slow. You go through the folder structure, it's pretty decent, but then once you try to open a file, you have to actually download it to your phone first.
I mean, yeah, we're talking, it was like, what, a 35 megabyte file that we were trying to open in it. We sat there for like 5 minutes and just said, forget it, it's not worth it. When we did our initial transfer, so it was about 12 terabyte transfer, and obviously you're gonna expect that to take a long period of time, but
being hardwired straight from the Drobo to the computers, we transferred this 12 terabyte file, and it took 2 days.
Yeah, and so to add on to that, we did a test with the transfer wirelessly. I think it was a 400 gig project, approximately, that we tried to transfer into the Drobo. I mean, it may not even be that big.
Yeah.
And it said it was gonna take 14 hours wirelessly. So that versus 48 hours, which was 12 terabytes. Yeah, you don't have to be a mathematician to figure that out.
We recommend using the hardwired if you're just having 2 people work off of it.
So the only real negative on the overall structure of the thing that we've kind of ran into, as soon as you start up your computer, when you go to access that shared drive, it takes a couple seconds. It's not instantaneous.
Yeah, you can actually hear the hard drive spin up after you clicked it, and it'll take a couple seconds, and then you can see all your files there.
Yeah.
And once it's loaded, you're in the system, you can do all your transfers. You don't have to wait again.
Just to be clear, this does have a battery backup built into it. So, we don't have to be plugged into like a special surge protector or like an extra UPS in case, our power goes down in the middle of the transfer.
Feel free to drop a comment if you want to talk to us. We're learning this with you guys, so we're open to any feedback or anything that you want to learn.